Walsingham, why wasn't I informed of this before?
You were away from London.
You could have reached me by messenger.
With what object?
With the object of acquainting me with a serious piece of news.
I fail to see what good you could have done.
I could have expressed my opinion. As one of Her Majesty's closest personal advisors, I should have thought
With due respect, Monroe, I am an even closer advisor than yourself.
If the Queen is planning to take a step of this nature, plunging headlong into marriage with a foreigner, a man of another religion...
Come, Monroe. She is not plunging into marriage. There is no need to be so colorful in your use of expression. She has merely invited the French prince here for the purpose of becoming better acquainted.
With a view to marriage.
Yes, if you like. With a view to marriage, eventually. Provided this meeting is a success.
How long have they been in there?
An hour or so.
Walsingham, you're strangely composed. Are you sure that you can afford to take up this neutral position? Will you be so complacent when Elizabeth, Queen of England, is listening to the advice of a Frenchman, pouring continuously into her ear, morning, noon, and...
What do you know of this Frenchman?
I know that he's the son of Catherine de Medici, and that's enough for me. His mother is a viper. She poisoned her own husband, this fellow's father. It's common knowledge. Now, if we allow this marriage to proceed, we'll have the dubious pleasure of seeing England's throne linked with a band of murderers.
Monroe, if you will stop talking for a minute and permit me a few words.
No? Have you anything to say that's significant?
Yes, indeed I have.
Proceed. My dear Walsingham, proceed. I'm all ears.
Apparently you do not know what the French prince looks like. But I was here when he arrived.
How very interesting.
I consider his physical appearance to be forbidding, to say the least.
You mean that he's distasteful to look at?
Repulsive, I should say.
What? But then Her Majesty the Queen would never entertain the idea of marrying him.
Exactly.
And why didn't you tell me this before?
Why didn't I?
Man the yardarm! Make way with your sheep's-head tags!
Sure, that's not correct.
Oh, yes, and Captain Francis Drake himself. Stand to, lower the sail. And then he turns to me. Your Royal Highness, welcome aboard my ship. We are proud to take you to England. And then the cook arrives. Captain Drake, says he, I have 2 boxes of frogs. What am I supposed to do with them? Frogs, says Captain Drake. Aye, sir, says the cook. Frogs, you know. Ow, ow, ow. So I came to the rescue. The frogs are for me, I said. I eat them. The cook. You eat them? Captain Drake, you eat them.
You should be at the playhouse.
Oh, what would I play, huh? A frog, huh? Mm.
Queen makes a long leave-taking, Captain Drake.
It must end shortly, Mr. Secretary, if I'm to sail for France this morning.
The Duke will return to France when the Queen lets him. You know that.
I know that, but the tide doesn't. Another hour, and he'll be here tomorrow, whether he wishes it or not.
Heaven forbid.
My fear is that he will be here a good deal longer.
What do you mean? You're not suggesting that the Queen might be seriously considering...
I'll face the facts. They've been in there for the last 8 hours with no entertainment beyond their own conversation.
Why should she want...
Why should she want a husband? I think we forget sometimes, gentlemen, that our Queen is a woman, perhaps a very lonely one.
We have kept you waiting, gentlemen.
We are happy to wait, madam, but Neptune is less accommodating.
You did well, Captain, to bring the Duke safely to England. I now charge you to take him safely back to France, with equal secrecy.
He will be safe with me, madam. Come, my lord, we have little time.
You will not forget your promise to write.
Of course not. Oh, oh. Milords, a seaman of your notoriety should have tamed the tides by now.
They serve me well enough as they are, Your Highness.
Your Majesty found the gentleman's company entertaining?
Yes, indeed.
But surely Your Majesty was repelled by...
By what, Mr. Secretary?
By his appearance, Your Majesty.
Yes, he is handsome, isn't he?
Alencon, you have returned.
Isn't that obvious?
Where have you been these last few days?
In the country. Paris is so stifling at this time of year.
Yeah, you're right, it is.
Is my mother within?
Where have you been, my son?
I've been hunting, madame.
Where?
On my estates.
Is England now one of your estates?
I do not understand that remark, madame.
You have just returned from England. What was the reason for your visit behind my back?
I am happy to explain, madame. I went on invitation from the English Queen.
Was it at her request that you went in secret, alone, on an English ship?
Yes, it was. Oh, that
Continue with your explanation. Let a mother hear the lies of her son.
I do not intend to tell you lies, madame. The English Queen invited me with a view to marriage.
Doubtless Queen Elizabeth had heard so much about your physical endowments. She was impatient to see them for herself.
I would hardly say that, madame.
That was why she did not communicate with me in the normal way?
Oh, the reason for the secrecy was that had we found no mutual attraction, the matter could have ended there with no loss of face on either part.
I understand. And tell me, my boy, did she find you an attractive prospect as a husband?
Indeed, she did, madame.
Now, I know you're lying.
Mother, it is true.
I'm surprised she did not supply you with a likelier story. Had she known you as I do, she would never have left you to cover your own tracks. You've not the intelligence for it.
Mother, believe me. Every word I tell you is true.
You are so impatient for the throne of France, you connive with my enemies against me.
No, that is not the case.
I thank heaven because I am your mother. I can see the evil in your mind so clearly. You will never be king of France, my son. I, who gave you birth, will, if necessary, exterminate you to save France from such a fate.
Drake, you took the Duke of Alencon back to France?
I did, Your Majesty.
Tell me, did he talk to you during the voyage?
Why, yes, Your Majesty.
Did he discuss the nature of his visit?
No, he didn't do me the honor of discussing it, Your Majesty.
Did he refer to the reason for his visit?
He referred to it, yes, Your Majesty, but with the utmost discretion.
Yes, I'm sure he did. Captain Drake, you are a man of the world. You must know what I'm trying to ask you. What did he say about me?
Oh, he said you were the most lovely and gracious woman it has ever been his privilege to meet.
So, you might have helped your queen by anticipating her questions a little.
I ask Your Majesty's pardon.
No matter, no matter. I want you to go to Paris.
At your service, madam.
Find out why the Duke of Alencon does not reply to my letters. Find out if it's true that his mother, the Queen, prevents it. But have a care, Captain. The Queen of France is a Medici. She's quite capable of wishing you good health while offering you a dish of the most deadly poison.
I shall watch my diet carefully, Your Majesty.
We are much obliged to your queen. It was kind of her to send us a person of your distinction to advise us in naval matters.
Her Majesty attaches great importance to this mission.
I perceive she does. Carlos,
Madam?
take Captain Drake to the Duke of Navarre. I have instructed my son-in-law to deal with my navy. Naval matters. I am not for a moment deceived.
Oh, I'm sure that is the reason for his coming here.
He will find an opportunity to engage you in private conversation. Treacherous conversation.
No, Mother.
No doubt he has a message to deliver to you in person concerning a plot against the throne of France.
Mother, this is all in your imagination.
He will search for you in vain, my son. I am moving your place of abode. From now on, your address will be behind the iron bars of the Bastille.
Mother, you have no cause to suspect me of such things.
Mathieu, Deluc, Rieti.
What are you going to do to me? I am your son.
Take him to the Bastille to await my pleasure.
No! No! Mother! Mother!
My son.
Her Majesty has commanded me to bring Captain Drake to you.
Ah, the Englishman. You are welcome, sir. I know you by repute. Mother's boys are given to tantrums, Captain. I regret that you have to be exposed to our petty family quarrels. All the same, it will relieve the tedium to have a real man about this place. All right, Carlos, you may go. The Queen surrounds herself with these puppies, but they're not to be underestimated. They are deadlier than snakes. They kill for pleasure.
The Queen's mind is very strong, I think.
It is dark and full of fantasies. One never knows which turn or twist will follow next.
Carlos, what do you think of the English Queen that she sends a spy to my court disguised as a naval advisor?
I think it a fantastic impertinence, madam.
Make his death look like an accident, Carlos. He must appear to have been murdered for his purse by footpads in an alley. Throw his body into the Seine. That way, perhaps some accidental tide will send him home to England.
I shall do it at the earliest opportunity, madam.
Do it tonight. I will invite him here for the purpose.
Well, Your Majesty, tonight.
I have an appointment with the Queen.
You have an appointment with whoever signed, monsieur.
Your French wit is beyond me, I'm afraid.
I have a friend here, monsieur, who will instruct you.
They are searching for the Englishman. He has just killed the Duke.
The Luke, that sweet, harmless boy. We'll give him a splendid funeral.
Is he in here?
Keep out of my quarters. And take care not to die on the Englishman's sword. I promise myself that you shall die on mine. If he does kill you, I swear I'll dig up your body and kill it again.
Well, where is he?
Madame, it appears that for the moment we have lost him.
Lost him? Call out the guards. Double the sentries on the gates. If he has left the palace, search for him in the streets until you find him. And you, Navarre, you will be confined to the palace. One hint of treachery and you join my son in the Bastille.
As your Majesty wishes.
I'm taking you to England, Your Highness.
But I do not understand.
There are horses waiting for us outside the Port Saint-Denis.
Goodbye, my friend. And don't come back. Your mother would be so cross with you.
I must rest. Navarre has given me a horse like a camel.
Very well, Your Highness.
Hello, hello? Where are you? Now, where is the fool? No one at home. At least we can rest. I am indebted to you, Drake. That cell was intolerable. I should have had a fever before long.
You're not indebted to me, Your Highness, but to my queen.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, even marriage to your English queen would be less horrible than a life sentence in the Bastille. Besides, she looks well enough, I suppose, by English standards. But I loathe domineering women. I had enough of that with my mother. And if anybody is domineering, it is your English queen.
I understood you had some affection for her, Your Highness.
Affection? For Elizabeth? Oh, I am grateful to her, of course, for getting me out of that abominable cell. And she laughs at my jokes, but affection. Ah, what an extraordinary race you are, you English. Huh? I have said something?
You are going to have a very long walk back to Paris, monsieur.
Huh?
About 100 miles, I think.